Crow Salvation is the third installment to the Crow franchise, and released in 2000, directed by Brett Newlery, based on the comics created by James O'Barr. This film stars Eric Mabius and Kirsten Dunst, before she was Mary Jane Watson, and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. The plot in The Crow Salvation is loosely based on Poppy Z. Britt's The Crow, the Lazarus Heart, second novel in the series, but its theatrical release was cancelled due to the negative reviews on The Crow City of Angels, so it had a limited theatrical run and flying straight to video, which is a shame because this is the better of the sequels. It's not just your average revenge plot that you're used to seeing. It has many more conflicts, with the resurrected Avenger, Alex Corvus, being wrongly accused for his girlfriend's murder, resulting in his execution, then is brought back to life by the mysterious Crow for one night of vengeance. Instead of the villains being street thugs, they're dirty cops, taking advantage of their titles. And if you're going to have a sequel to The Crow, this is the best way to do it. I appreciate the creative choices put into the film, such as Alex's last name, Corvus, which means a flock of large birds, usually crows. What are the odds, huh? Honestly, that was a little too on the nose. I don't particularly like the look of the character in this film, but again, it's a different version. The concept is interesting, his appearance being scarred caused by his execution. This film does struggle a bit with the same thing The Crow City of Angels did, which was having very little action, but as far as the dramatic elements, they achieved it very well. The romance to me is the core of the story. And instead of Sarah from the first two films, you're introduced to Aaron, who, much like Sarah's character, is dealing with the great loss, losing her two friends Eric and Shelley, Aaron also grieving over her sister. As I said, this film does lack action, but the story unfolds into a mystery thriller. Alex hunting down the one who accused him of murder, but also trying to convince Lauren's sister, Erin, that he's innocent. Salvation even has a score by Marco Beltrami, the composer of the Scream films, which does sound eerie similar, but it fits the film's surroundings and atmosphere. I always loved just how dark the Crow films were. Coming from a comic book, it makes it that much more unique. It also raises some thought-provoking questions. If raised from the dead, given the circumstances, would you seek revenge? And if after you completed your mission, if you committed these crimes, even if you thought justified, would you be welcomed back with your loved ones? The statement told in the comics and films, that love never dies, is really beautiful and poetic. That love conquers death. And that's something I think we'd all like to believe. The Crow Salvation is the third and best installment since the first, and I think should have ended with it, leaving the trilogy on a high note. What did you think of The Crow Salvation? Did it leave you wanting more, or were you underwhelmed? I think it's a worthy story told in that of its predecessor. A story of death, vengeance, and love.
When Alex went, I knew I was making a choice. To be alive in the world. Not thinking of them. Hoping that sometimes they're thinking of me.
Yeah.